I'm Dr. Elly Porasef.
And I'm Dr. Crystal Wiggins.
And today we have a special guest.
Dr. Celina Oliveira.
Fancy seeing you here.
Fantastic.
Is that okay?
Yes. So yeah, Dr. Oliveira and I went to college together. We went to University of Texas for our undergrad. Okay. And I was like four years in at this point, lost.
There will be a collage of you two in college together.
Oh, really?
Above your heads.
I bet.
Right? There will be a collage.
We do have a lot of photos.
We do.
I do.
Lots of photos.
I'm dead serious. It's going to be above your head. So
Celina extra tan with no eyebrows.
Right. No, with the overlined lips.
yes, and Elly.
Hey, it's back in style. Man.
Told you.
That's what I look like the classic times because I never was in style. Like I was just kept it the same. Where she was like, whatever the style was. So then when you go back on photos, like it's like, whoa, that was so 90s. Whoa, that was so 2000. Because she kept up with the styles. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Where I always just wore this. I literally like
I kept up
I've
with
just
the
gained
trends.
weight. That's it.
The trends.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, Elly, don't you know this?
So yeah, Dr. Oliveira and I met in chemistry class. I don't know.
Actually, technically, we met walking to chemistry class outside.
Outside.
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
outside.
I remember that.
Walking on, I don't know what street that was.
Oh, I remember that. I remember meeting outside of the auditorium.
No, we were outside, like physically outside.
Well-
and I thought, she's in my chemistry class. I haven't done my homework yet. Let me ask her for some assistance, maybe.
So yeah, she just walked up to me and she's like, "Hey, so I missed some classes. Can I copy your notes?" And I was like, "Sure." And
I'm sure I said, "Hi, I'm Celina."
Pretty sure,
Okay.
but I don't know.
I think the story Elly told originally was you offered her food.
She offered me food while we were inside. After I
So I
copied
gave her my notes and my food. I mean, hello, how awesome am I?
It was orange wedges. I'll never forget.
Need my fruit. So virgin. So yeah, basically that's how we met. Which and then it was neat. Did we live in the same apartment together on purpose, or did we move into the same apartments together?
I think we accidentally.
So it just kept going. Like we were in class together at UT, mind you. These are
500 people
400 or 500
classes.
people classes, right? It's an auditorium with 400 or 500 people. So they're huge. So to make a friend in a class like that,
It was like two magnets just
yeah,
joining together.
it was meant to be. So then we just I can't recall the way it just continued to go, but at some point we did live in the same
And at
apartments
some
together.
point you asked me for my number, and I was like, okay.
Sure.
So then that's it. That's how.
Yeah.
That's the story of us.
And then
How many years ago was that?
I was in 1999, I think.
Oh,
So
wow.
20.
Yeah, let's don't give a date to it.
Mhm.
Let's don't date ourselves.
19.
Okay.
I mean, we look fabulous.
It is.
so-
I don't know.
That's
so
right.
proud.
Hello.
That's a cheers.
Cheers to that.
That's right.
Yes. Seriously, look at this. We're in our 40s. 40, 41, 42.
Yep.
We're doing all right.
Yes,
Doing something
right.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, after that, like fast forward a few years, her and I were just taking a bunch of random classes. And no, I didn't meet you when I was in my fourth year. I was like probably in my...
No, yeah, you met early on.
But by my fourth year, I was like, still don't know what I want to do. Taking kinesiology, thinking, am I going to be a physical therapist? Taking...
Which, by the way, is a normal thing. I think a lot of people right now I guess a lot of my friends have kids that are going into college, and they're like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, hey, it's okay. They don't need to know that right now.
Well, I wanted to do something in the medical field, but like it's so hard when you really just don't know exactly what something is. Like, for example, I took a lot of physics because optometry was to get into graduate school for optometry, you had to take a bunch of physics.
Right.
So to me, that didn't, like, I didn't know if that's what being an optometrist meant. You know, like how much physics do you do on a daily basis as an optometrist? I mean, you do their vision and make sure they don't have tumors and things like that. But anyway, with audiology, so fast forward, one day she was like, because her dad has a hearing clinic, and so she has experience with him doing that. So she was like, you know what? I'm just going to take a hearing science class, and it was like a neuroscience class. And
that's such an intro to deaf studies.
Deaf studies
That was
also.
the one. That was the one that was...
Yeah, it was Dr. Bernstein, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it Dr. Bernstein? Yeah. And so I was like, okay, whatever, I'll do it too, because I just didn't know. And it was like bing. Yeah.
Wow.
It was magic. I was, for the first time in my life, not bored in studying. I don't know. Did it affect you like that?
Intro to Deaf Studies is the one that did it for me, where I really thought, like, wow, this is a whole other world that I had no idea
like
about.
the deaf culture?
Yeah.
That's a whole other topic, too.
Oh, yes.
I mean, the way, especially at UT, Austin is like, has a Texas school for the deaf.
Yes.
So they taught us a lot of things that we didn't know.
Which is giving me like a different perspective on because I knew sort of about the profession because of my dad, but then that other perspective was like mind blowing. And
I had no
This
idea.
is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So that's
Like,
kind of where it went.
So to share that perspective regarding, you're talking about like deaf, maybe.
Well, just about deaf culture, big D deaf culture being like its own culture with its own language and its own syntax and rhetoric and everything was just mind blowing. I had no idea that culture existed.
Or that, like, for example, somebody who is deaf, let's say a mom and a dad, and they have a baby who is deaf, they are happy about it,
Yes.
Right.
right? Because they get to communicate with their child using sign language. Whereas if it was a hearing child, it might be more difficult for them. So I remember thinking, I don't understand that until I understood it.
Right.
The whole community behind it. And it's not a disability, and that it's and then of course
They're not broken. They don't need
Yeah,
to be
they'll
fixed.
fix,
I mean,
yeah.
there are different, perspectives on that, but it was amazing, and the professor was amazing too.
Yeah.
So that's how we became who we became.
yeah
Yeah.
Or at least started to.
and then lots of college parties in between. Not too many actually. We didn't fail
No,
that.
actually, we were
would have
really
failed that.
good.
Yeah, we were like
we were, in our heads, we probably were rock stars. We
Yeah.
were big nerds.
yeah,
Nerd City.
it's true.
You're right. We thought we were really cool, but we were
Yeah.
probably really big
Yeah.
nerds.
We're like, yeah, studying
Nerds are cool
before
now. Y'all are good.
That's
Yeah, we're
right.
cool now?
Nerds are in.
They're in.
Nerds are in.
Oh, nerds! Nerds
Yeah.
are so nerds rule the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
That's right.
Elon Musk. Let's go, champ.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming to the valley, even though I'm not in the valley. But anyways,
to do what?
He's opening some sort of
SpaceX.
center.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Brownsville, I think.
Yep.
He's opening a.
It's already there. He bought an entire town.
He bought the whole town.
Town?
Yep. He bought the town and all
That reminds me of
all
Schitt's
the
Creek.
surrounding houses around the town. It's exactly what it sounds like.
David.
Yeah. So back to cute nerdy girls in college. There's 3 cute nerdy girls in college. Go.
And then with
You went
Dr.
to
Wiggins.
UNT, right?
Yeah, I was at UNT, but I met you at Lamar
That's
University.
right. We went to grad school together.
Yes.
So the whole 4 years.
Yeah.
She's 1 year above me.
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
So, and then I met Dr. Elly at Phonak U, and remember after we ate our food and all that good stuff. We went back to I think your room, and Dr. Elly came over, and you were like, "This is my friend, Elly," and I was like, "Oh my God, she's so amazing!" So I was like,
She's so fabulous.
"Yes." I even took a picture with her.
Extra.
I took a picture of her when I first met her, and I still have that photo from 2005. I do,
Oh my
I
God,
do.
2005.
Yes.
Funny.
So that's when I met Dr.
Well,
Elly.
shoot, then I've
through
known you
Dr.
longer
Sil-
than 15 years because we always tell my patients 15 years. What
Yeah.
are we-
I mean, that's it.
years. Wow. Yeah. So we met through Dr. Celina.
Yes,
I'm the glue.
Yeah.
she is.
Where's my award for glue?
Yes.
Some wine.
Oh,
and
thank
hang
you.
out
There you
with
go.
us on a random Saturday.
But there is difference in where you're at in Laredo versus
Oh, right.
Houston, because Houston, there's like 7 million people here.
Right.
What would the difference
Tell
be?
us.
Because you've worked both sides. You actually have done and worked here in Houston.
Right.
Came
Love
in
Houston.
and helped folks, ENTs and that kind of stuff with their audiology
Your
departments.
hands in the camera.
Oh, sorry. So what would you say would be the biggest difference, or just things that you would see difference Houston versus Laredo?
Well, there's not a lot of diversity in Laredo as far as, mostly it's Hispanic, so large percent of it is Hispanic. That's the biggest difference.
But also, there's not a lot of
then there's
offices.
There's
You're
not
one
a
of the
lot of
main-
medical professionals in
Yeah.
general. There's a lack of physicians in the area. So people will go outside of the city
to San
to
Antonio.
seek help for lots of things, including audiology. So when I moved there, I was the only audiologist in the city that actually
Crazy.
lived there.
I
There
know.
there was 1 or 2 that would come in, every month or so, but I was the only one that was full time. And so I was able to build a lot of relationships with the physicians and the VA and the school district and stuff. So right now there are 3 audiologists only in a
that's
city of
insane.
more than 250,000 people.
That's insane.
So maybe we have 300,000 people, and then with all the other cities surrounding. So I mean,
So I take it you're busy.
Mexican
I'm
nationals.
busy. Yes, of course we do.
Yeah.
We do get a lot of people coming over from Mexico. because of the violence on the border and things like that, that had died down. It had gotten better, and then when it got better, like the pandemic hit. So it's been tough, but we still have a lot of, we still have some relationships and people who have been my patients for many years. Also my father's patient, because he was a hearing instrument specialist. So we have a lot of people that come in and ask about my dad.
When did he open his practice?
Oh, okay. Let's see. I want to say if he was still practicing, this year would be like the 25th year. Maybe?
And then you came in at how many years ago?
10.
2010?
10. 2010 is when I moved from Houston to Laredo.
Wow, it's already been. I remember throwing your goodbye party with the Hello Kitty cupcakes.
She like Hello Kitty.
Loves Hello Kitty. I have gotten her Hello Kitty cupcakes. Actually, Jennifer made them for her.
Oh, that's right.
Our office manager.
All that stuff.
Dr. Oliveira is a woman of many talents.
Yes.
She's a business owner.
All
she has her own practice.
Toot, that's your horn.
I'm going to brag on her for just a
I know.
second.
Beep, beep.
In fact, whenever I started my practice, I remember just, not only did she get me into the field of audiology, but because she started first, I just remember asking her a million questions. How do you do this? What database do you use? What do you do that? What do you do for your, delivery? What kind of waivers are you doing for this? I mean, honestly, it's like, some things, but then, yes, and I want to be that for somebody else, and I try to always help somebody just the way you help me. Mm-hmm. It really, makes, just knowing that you have, a mentor, somebody to,
guide you through the process,
yeah, because it's scary, and you did that. But me bragging on Dr. Oliveira, she also produces Broadway shows in Laredo.
Yes, she does.
Let's reel it in a little.
Whatever.
I mean, I think in general, and actually I was thinking about this as a topic for your podcast or for your YouTube show, is how important it is to reach outside of your community and kind of do other things too. Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons why I've been able to stay sane in another city with not as many friends or not as much family, even though now I have a lot of friends there and I have for a while, but is being active with the community, right? Yeah. So I'm on the board of a theater nonprofit organization in Laredo, which we put on community theater, but it's not your typical community theater. It's large scale.
I've seen pictures.
High quality. I mean, every detail of our productions are well thought out, and all of our board is volunteer. And so, yes, I enjoy doing that. I've been on that board since I moved to Laredo.
Well, first you started doing makeup too.
Oh, that's how they asked me to. Yes, that's right.
She's like a talented makeup artist. She's volunteering her time doing makeup.
That's right.
And then you got all of a sudden really involved.
Well, I had a family friend that came into my office and was like, hey, I'm on the board of this organization. I think you would like it because I heard you like doing makeup. We're doing this small show. Why don't you come and do makeup for the production? It's only 2 weeks long. You'll enjoy it. You'll get to meet some actors from the city and stuff. So that's what I started to do. And then I did show after show. And then after a while, they said, do you want to be on the board? And I was like, yeah. Because at that point, I'd already created a system for the makeup and Excel spreadsheets and such or whatever. And I really enjoy doing it. So
I think it's great that you get yourself so involved in so many things because not only are you dealing with your office, you go to the gym at 5 a.m. and you have your whole community there.
She inspires me. Okay,
she's community
totally
at the gym.
Inspires me.
And then afterwards, she'll do these plays, and she was doing some political stuff last political season with some local politicians. That's pretty diverse.
Very diverse.
Where I'm just eat, sleep, repeat, whatever, work, repeat.
Manage a successful business.
Okay. I have started MedMerch USA. Please look it up.
All right. That's what I'm saying.
I think you just have to realize what your qualities are as a business owner and know that those qualities can be beneficial to any other organization. So if I was a good delegator or organizational person, then I know that maybe in this role as a producer of nonprofit shows that I'm able to figure out budgets and to make things happen, really.
Absolutely.
Make decisions. And even though I can't act or I can't sing, it was
I beg
part
to differ.
of what I did really kind of brought together everything in my head as far as being an artist.
We did all kinds of singing with Systems of a Down. Sugar.
I was a little bit of alternative head. I was a little bit of a grungy.
How does it feel? What do I say? In the end, it all goes away.
Wow. But I like Hello Kitty
and
too. So.
Shakira.
You know what? I also introduced you to a lot of alternative and like rock and like metal.
You made me go to what concert was that with you?
Well, we went to Incubus concert.
Incubus, and we didn't wear our earplugs.
Oh,
yeah.
we
So we were begging.
out.
We were no, they were not. We begged the Woodlands Pavilion to give us. We're like, we know OSHA regulations requires you to have earplugs in for this, so we'll buy some off you. They're like, here. You
I
can
don't
have
remember
some.
this conversation.
What year was this?
This was like
that long
3
ago.
years ago. We're like two audiologists at one of the loudest concerts ever
Dude,
without
awesome.
earplugs. Now, both of us also went right when it started. We're like, oh crap! Did
Yeah.
you bring earplugs? She's like, no. I was like, did you bring your? And then she had such a dork. She had her phone. She had her
Did you
sound
sound
level
level meter?
meter.
If you know me,
We
you know
all
I
do.
measure everything. Like
Oh my god, it's 110 decibels.
I measure everything.
So that's it. We were on the hunt for earplugs. Like really, we did that at the Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion.
Fun times.
Yes.
Let's do it again. We need to go with three of us to a concert.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And
Ooh,
When is
and
concert
wear like
starting?
med merch stuff and pass out ear protection.
hey, marketing.
Yeah. So anyways,
Always on the job.
Being active in the community is super important. But it
Absolutely.
just also keeps you sane.
Yes.
Like it just, every day doing the same thing over and over again, you need to break up your
monotony.
routine.
So I agree. Our job is very, very emotionally laden because there are people that come in for help, and we have to be their hope at a lot of times. So it becomes very, very. It can become very taxing
Especially when
on
we see
your emotional
tinnitus
system.
Tinnitus patients.
Absolutely. So, patients who've come in with their ears just screaming, and they're looking for someone who's going to say, "How can I get this to stop?"
Right.
And I just had a patient the other day. I don't remember telling you this, but he is a gentleman. He cried in my office because he felt like he had no hope. So we have all been in the situation where someone needs us to be the light in a dark room. And that has put us in a situation, well, I know it's put me in a situation where, I've felt down because I've helped so many people, but I'm in a place where I'm not my very best self.
Right.
So
And that's what I was going to say is what happens when you're not your best and you have to give so much to
so
someone
much,
else.
yes.
Or you have your own stuff going on
Yeah.
at home, and you have to come to be strong for that
Yes.
person.
And I'm sure that's
Yes.
with a lot of professionals in
Yeah.
general, right? How do you put on that brave face,
Absolutely.
get to work, smile, and make it seem like everything's okay?
Okay.
It's a lot of work owning a business, being a mom, right?
Yeah.
Owning a humongous business and keeping it beautiful like this.
Yes.
My office does not look this beautiful. Guys, we need to talk. No, just kidding. But it's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
But I think you guys have to realize that y'all are truly the 1%, which is it's interesting and why people are interested in what you are, because you just see it as like I'm surrounded by people who are just like me, but there's not a lot of people who are you guys, right?
Right.
Male, female, regardless of where it's at, y'all are like very special.
Yeah.
And
You're
you
biased.
just
You're
assume that
special.
everybody's that way, and when you have these
Alexis
conversations,
moment.
you're like, well, everybody's this way. No. The level of understanding that you have and the empathy that you have for individuals that have tinnitus, that suffer from there's 5 senses, and the 2 most important are sight and hearing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just
Yeah.
touch and smell. They're not that, but without hearing, without sight, those 2 senses will take 90% of your abilities away from you, right?
Yeah.
And until I met Elly, I took it for granted, and now it's something I'm really focused on. Like I will go to a concert and wear plugs.
Your earplugs.
Yeah,
All
I will
right.
You're gonna
Get some
it's
custom
gonna
ones
go
made.
away if you don't take care of it. And you guys assume that everybody's just like y'all, but they're not.
And all these movies that they're making lately, like The Sound of Metal on Amazon. Of course, we know about A Star Is Born, Baby Driver. Talking about like people suffering from hearing loss or ringing in the ears, tinnitus,
Yes.
tinnitus. And the depression that follows, or let's say things are already kind of out of whack in your life, and that's just kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
Like the recent on the news, the CEO of
Suicide, yeah.
that committed suicide from Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah, that's right.
Due to his apparently unbearable tinnitus.
Yeah.
But yeah, we see a lot of tinnitus patients here, and especially Dr. Wiggins. She has an additional certification for that, and she has an extensive interview process
EDAs.
that she does.
From the ADA.
Yeah, ABA.
ABA.
Yeah. ABA. We've got ADD, AB,
I know.
ADD. We've got
Acronym.
ADA.
Audiology's like
I was
acronym.
like, American Doctor of Audiology. What's the ADA? That's
American
a
Board
thing
of
too.
Audiology.
But
American
there's
Doctors
some of
of
Doctors
Audiology.
of Audiology
Yeah.
too.
Oh,
There's AD, yeah.
Yeah.
There's all these ones.
Yeah.
AAA.
Triple, yes, we know that.
Asher,
Asha, we know that
we
one.
cut our C's.
C's.
Did
We
you
had
really?
a
Heck
C-section. I sure
C-section.
did, and I feel good about
If
it.
I need to supervise
For this non-audiologist, it's
Yeah.
a certification that
we don't
lumped
we
us,
need.
it lumped us in with the speeches. No offense, speeches, but they didn't take us that serious.
But it's a question you guys get a lot.
Yeah.
Folks they have to make that decision.
I kept my C's, and that's because I
You're a
have
supervisor,
students
right?
and some students.
Yeah.
So if I need to supervise students, then I have to
Yeah.
have my C's. So
And
I
an
have to keep them
overachiever.
current.
Just-
Yeah, and she's an overachiever, yes.
It's another day.
I don't know. These days I
Another
haven't
day,
been
another
overachieved.
certification.
The only thing I've overachieved lately is meals. I'm a big
Yeah.
overachiever. On
Amen,
meals.
Amen to
sis.
that.
Amen, sis. Amen.
Overachieve those meals.
Text taco this morning. Delish.
Oh gosh, that was
Good.
good.
For those that live in Katy, go to this random. Just look up Tex Taqueria.
I'm gonna look
You
for
won't
it.
be sorry.
Order ahead.
Yeah.
Give them 45 minutes
Yeah,
because the place
so
is
good.
packed on the weekend.
Wow, I'm going.
And then tacos y tortas, Adrian, for the birria tacos.
You know,
Paria.
Yeah.
wait, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Hold on.
go, go.
Don't
Listo,
say
vámonos.
you've never had it.
Go.
I've never had.
Oh, that's it.
Wait,
We're gonna
let
change
me
that.
Say birria. I've never had it. I have a friend, Ro. Maybe he's gonna be listening, or I'll make him. But I need it.
If you were not
birria.
meeting
It's-
your friends at 5:30 for dinner, I would make you eat that right now.
Well,
after this.
in Houston, we've had street goodness forever. It's like been one of them things. So, Paria tacos are basically street goodness. You just take regular like beef.
Just
and
look it
you
up on TikTok.
No,
fry
I
it.
know the
Just look
recipe
it up on TikTok.
and fry it in its own juices that it marinated or
Oh,
that
yeah.
it
And then
cooked
you
in
dip
for
it.
hours.
It was invented via COVID. So COVID is
Yeah.
what brought
So
us
there's
And
birria
well,
tacos.
birria's always been around, but I think that whole trend of like
yeah,
the yummy,
yeah.
dirty yumminess.
But
Go
like
champ.
for example, the restaurant that like one of the most the tacos y tortas, Adrian. They don't even have it on their regular menu.
Oh, it's like a
they
special
add
menu.
they just because it became so famous on TikTok, they like now have it like on their scan menu, their updated scan menu, and like the place cards, you know.
Oh wow.
I was like, give credit where
Hey,
credit's
Adrian.
due.
Hook us up.
It's a real guy. It's pictures on the yeah. It's the logo.
I'm
It's
all
his
about-
face.
If we want to be legit, it's Adrian. Okay.
Oh.
So back on this topic, because I know we were kind of talking about mental health and like keeping ourselves healthy
Yes.
while helping others. What's your take on that? Like, how is that?
But the greatest advice that I've ever received from a doctor is that, if you have a broken foot, you're going to see like an orthopedic surgeon. If you have something wrong with your stomach, you're going to see a GI specialist. If you feel as though your emotional well-being is not intact, you're going to see someone who's going to help you. And there's there seems to be stigma around it, and there still is a little bit, but don't feel bad about it. It's something that you need to do to function and be a better person. And strong people do reach out for help. So I know I've had my own reach out for help moment. And so I try to take care of myself wholeheartedly from top of the head to bottom of the feet. So I would encourage anybody that if you're having any emotional difficulties to definitely reach out to the professionals that can help you. It makes it better for you, your family, and to continue doing what you do.
But don't you think it's pretty common for professionals, not just audiologists or business owners, but like to forget about their needs,
Yeah,
right? And then once
absolutely.
you put in motherhood in the picture,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure.
You go to the bottom of the list, man.
I've said this so many times.
Yeah.
The same qualities that make me a good business owner may or may not make me good at other areas in life, right? So like I concentrate all my energy on like making a successful business, and then maybe ignore some of those other things, and it does catch up with you. So
Yeah.
What's your take on it?
well, I mean, funny that you say, but recently I decided to kind of take a step back and kind of take a break. So I am taking some time off and cutting my hours a little bit, just trying to take care of me.
Yeah, that's healthy.
And we'll see. Hopefully I'll come back re-energized. But all those other things, like being involved with other organizations, they
Yeah.
definitely do help. But
Definitely helps.
yeah, mental health, I think in my culture, there may be still a stigma you know, and maybe I'm putting that more on myself, but I think there still is a stigma with.
I think
My
it's
culture as
starting
well.
to
Yeah, I
dissipate
think
a
so.
little bit,
Yes.
though.
Absolutely.
I
I
think,
think more and more people are seeking therapy, getting
Yeah.
antidepressant medications if they need it.
Yeah.
Like it's like more people that I know have it than don't.
Yeah.
You know what I
You
mean?
just have to stand up and say it. It is exactly what Crystal said, that I need help, right?
Yeah.
Just like you say, you're good at certain things, and I know my wheelhouse is my wheelhouse. Outside of my wheelhouse, I need help.
Yeah.
And for me, when I went through a divorce, that was the biggest part. Was I reached out and went to a mental health coach, and she was like, to this day, there's things that she taught me, things that I work on, that she helped me with, like your personality, like who you are. Like, Shane, you're a giant man. You can't be flailing your hands around in public because it's intimidating. Those kinds of things. Like, if you want people to accept you, and you assume, just like you said, because I'm good at what I'm good at.
He's a big man. I mean, when I first met him, yes, that's what I
Yeah.
said. That's
Big-
a big man.
Big silly man. But you have to reach out for help.
Right.
It's like you said.
do.
Yeah, like I need hearing help. I need help with my hearing aids.
There's
or I need
stigma
help
with hearing
yeah.
loss.
That's true.
Stigma with hearing loss, stigma with mental health. That's probably one of the two biggest stigmas, I would say. Hearing loss, because people like keep assuming that they have to be a certain age to have hearing loss. Like it's like okay.
What were you saying?
Oh, I was just going to say that, first time I say, okay, this is what you need. You need hearing aids. I tell, and they give me that look. And doctor, you guys know that look. Like, I'm not doing that.
I'm still not used to it because I feel like if you're
too.
here,
You need help.
No, like you've already made some kind of
Conscious decision.
Either you yourself or I guess somebody's forcing you to come to our office.
That
Sorry,
happens
putting my
too.
little pin on, to come to do something about it. So then when they
At
act,
least the seed has been planted, you know?
yeah,
Yeah,
or if they,
but
when they act surprised or like most people, I don't know what to say. It still catches me off guard when they're kind of in denial because I'm like,
Well, and then I tell
Like-
them it's not your grandpa's hearing aid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you got you got to
they're
take a
so
look
cool
at what
now
we
that
have.
when a family member comes with the
They're like,
patient,
wow.
they're like, can
Yes.
I get this?
Exactly.
What? You can have app control. You can stream phone calls, GPS, and
Yeah.
music,
Yeah.
and like go to work and nobody knows you're listening to stuff. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
very expensive Bluetooth device.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. and hear
they're,
better,
like,
by the
so
way.
inconspicuous. Like all these other Bluetooth devices are giant sticking out.
Yes.
But from y'all's perspective, until I really discussed it with Ellie, the cognitive function or the cognitive connection between your brain and your hearing, right? So insanity's real. And for you to constantly hear a beeping noise, and I have friends that are just like, yeah, that's a beeping noise. I hear it all. I'm like, you have tinnitus, and there's from your guys' perspective, there's nothing you can do to cure or to help or to heal, right?
We don't like to say there's
listen-
it's not like there's a cure. There's not a cure
But
for
there can be
tinnitus.
treatment.
There's
there's a
treatments.
lot of
That's
options
exactly
that
what I
people
lead
have.
with.
So what does it look like?
So what I
It's
remember
different
is-
for
yeah,
it's different
go
for
ahead.
each
You're the
person.
pro. Let's
No.
do it.
It's different for each person.
Y'all are all pros.
And thank you. We're all pros. But one of the things I like to tell patients is that, it's different for each person. Certainly, hearing loss can play a huge part in it. If we knew, if it was the same for everyone, then we would have a pill that we could give to somebody. Everybody have the pill, and then we'd be great, and there wouldn't be no more tinnitus. But there's different treatment options, coping strategies, sound therapy. Certainly, hearing aids.
Cognitive
One
behavioral
thing,
therapy.
yes. Certainly, one thing people forget is,
Masking.
they forget that hearing aids
Yeah.
are often
They're their primary way
Yeah.
to treat.
Not
Yeah.
everybody who has tinnitus has hearing loss, but usually tinnitus and hearing loss go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So just because you have tinnitus doesn't mean you have hearing loss. Just because you have hearing loss doesn't mean you have tinnitus.
right.
But a lot of times
But it's likely.
they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So imagine when you're hearing, just imagine you kind of walk around with earplugs in and that stopped up cotton feeling that your ears feel. Or when you're on a plane and you're all of a sudden the pressure changes and you're, doing that with your mouth, trying to click your ears back open, and all of a sudden your ears open up and you feel the air and you can hear better. So when you walk around with hearing loss, you're kind of walking around with your ears plugged up. So by us opening that, giving you that open feeling, putting your hearing back, you're not only hearing better, but you're hearing the air around you better. You're hearing,
Everything.
things around
The
you.
shuffling of your feet.
The shuffling of your feet,
Yeah.
things
The
that you're supposed to be hearing.
refrigerator.
All
I
those
mean, like,
sounds
yeah.
naturally will mask your tinnitus to some degree.
How do you do that?
Your brain knows. Your
Yeah.
brain is
Yeah.
going
And
to
we're
work
putting
with that sound.
prescription in the hearing
Yeah.
aid. There's each person has a different prescription. Then on top of that, we work with certain brands. Like for example, one of our go-to brands for tinnitus is Widex. And Widex is industry known for dealing with tinnitus, and they have different kinds of Zen therapies that we can turn on. And we go through it with our patients. We do tinnitus matching, trying to figure out where the pitch is for their tinnitus. Extensive interview process, extensive paper interview, verbal interview. Then we match the tinnitus. And then if they have hearing loss, we'll put the Widex aids on them. And then there's like probably 10 sounds we get to choose from. And we'll go through them and say, which one do you feel like you can tolerate to start to ignore your tinnitus? It's a very neat process. And I mean, we've had some really severe cases. Really severe cases of patients in here that have been on the edge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just good for them to know that there is some relief out there. There
Yes.
can be something to help.
Just yesterday on Facebook, I'm part of a couple of different Facebook groups. One is the Katy community that I'm in because I live in Katy, and one is the Memorial Information Trading. They call it MIT, and I think it was on I don't know which one it was, but somebody asked, "Hey, I have tinnitus. I really want to do something about it. Who can help me?" And everybody just started writing like some of the ENTs names around here, and
That's my next
yeah, they're
comment.
ENT. And mind you, if an ENT, ear, nose, and throat physician I want a patient to see an ENT. Make sure you get your checkup
Right.
with the physician.
We need to rule out some other things.
Rule out
Yes.
other things. Make
Yes,
sure,
yes.
God forbid, there's not a tumor or anything going on. You can continue, yeah.
Was I?
For example, the physician will maybe
Well, Celina was talking about the connection between your brain and your hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said your brain knows.
And my
that
brain
your-
disconnected.
your
Just
brain.
now.
That has
like,
nothing to do
I'm
with
not
cognitive
really-
function. That is the wine and the vodka.
I'm not sure what just happened, but
Yeah.
But you
Your
know
brain-
what's interesting though is like when physicians usually I have seen or heard of some physicians and been in the room when the physician has said, "Oh, there's nothing we can do."
Yeah, they do that all the time, and
I
it's
hate that.
heartbreaking.
I hate
when I hear a
that.
physician saying, "Sorry, there's nothing you can do about it." It's
And-
like, well, first of all, like just like with
Sorry, I
us,
didn't
we
mean to
refer to
smack.
neurology if we feel like somebody
Yeah.
when they take our cognitive screening and they're all in the reds and we're concerned. We'll have a neurology referral, for example. How could you just say no?
Exactly.
Like, how can you just
Well, I
stop?
think they're just unaware, right?
Well,
They're very unaware.
And then my
It's
thing
frustrating,
is know
though.
what you
You're an
know
ENT.
and know what you don't know.
Right.
And then when you don't know, refer to another
An ENT
professional.
should, first
you
of all,
know?
never do that because they should know better. I'm sorry. But
Well, they should be up to date with
yeah.
what's going on. But I
a
think
regular physician, I can understand the degree of so many things that they see on a daily basis. I mean, a regular physician sees from A to Z.
Everything, yeah.
Everything. You cannot be a perfect, you can't know everything perfectly
Yeah,
for everything.
yeah.
And that's understandable. But I still feel like you should know who to refer out to for certain things.
Yes.
thankfully
And not every
I'm-
audiologist is created equally either,
No,
right?
of course
That's
not.
true.
Thankfully,
Yeah.
I'm blessed. The ENT, one of the ENTs that I work with really heavily, he knows. He'll
knows.
say,
Good.
"You know what? I'm not sure. Hold on." And
Yeah.
he'll be like,
Yeah, okay, good.
"Doctor O, what do you think about this?" And so
Yes.
he obviously
awesome.
respects
That is a
what
good
I do,
position.
right?
Yeah.
And if I'm concerned about anything he does, I'll go up to myself
Yeah.
and say, "Can you explain this, or what does this mean, or what do you
Yeah.
think, or what should I say, or hey, maybe we shouldn't say this to patients, or maybe
Yeah.
that." I think there should be an open
My thing is,
dialogue
as a
with it.
physician, why wouldn't you want to take some of that heat off you and give it to somebody else who can actually possibly
I
help?
think there's so much overwhelming information for everyone to learn that
Yeah.
maybe like tinnitus is like on the back burner because I have to worry about this surgery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
why.
And they're
So
good.
until
point,
you
they-
have tinnitus, you don't realize it. I've had it.
Yeah.
I get it intermittently for a few seconds.
And I only
every
get
time
it
you
in one
a tinnitus.
I've got it.
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden it goes mute and then it goes "Nee," and you're just kind of holding your
heard
breath.
that's a
Everybody all
stroke.
at once,
I heard
ready?
that's a stroke.
"Nee." And you're holding your breath hoping it goes away.
I heard that
Imagine it not going away. That's what our patients deal with.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then I had that one incident, the
Yes.
incident.
Wait.
Oh,
hold
the
on.
clip with the
The
clip.
clip.
Ah.
Yeah, I put a hair clip on my head. All of a sudden, it was a broken speaker with the loudest tinnitus I've ever had. And then when I spoke, it was like that. I mean, I don't
That's
even know.
scary.
Duck?
Like, No, it's not funny. It was
I know.
awful.
No, I was
I
there.
just-
it was
I was-
awful.
she was there. I was
You were there,
screaming.
yeah, and then you
I
guys,
was
you
like-
called. We were on the phone, yeah.
I literally didn't know what to do. I've had 2 incidents now as an audiologist. I called you you were there for the clip incident.
Yes.
And then the other one was at 4 a.m. when a bug went in my ear.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
I called her like at 4 a.m. I was like,
Yes.
I can't think right
Did
now.
I answer? Was I asleep?
Yeah, I think you did. Or you texted me like, because I was like,
You need to drown it.
I was like, I don't know what to drown it with: water, alcohol, peroxide, or oil. You know. What was your answer?
I don't remember.
I don't
How
either.
many
You said
times
alcohol.
Your bug in the ear. I can't even imagine. No, I
It
think-
was like this.
That's scary.
Well, first of
It
all,
was
he
flapping on my eardrum.
I need a warning with the audio before
Sorry.
you do that.
Oh. What?
It was really bad. Sorry, did I blow your ears out?
The bug was panicking. He was about to
Oh,
die.
Yeah,
do
he
I
was
feel sorry for
panicking.
him?
I don't know. Did you have a funeral?
I flushed that.
Booger out.
Yeah,
How many bugs have you taken out of ears?
a handful.
Cockroaches, beetles.
Can we talk about another thing we took out of somebody's ears? Why don't we show you?
Yes.
Oh,
You know
man.
my biggest what I took out of someone's ear, right?
Oh, wait, tell me. 'Cause
Wait.
you know I'm all for it. I'm
Wait.
here for it.
Yeah, I don't even know if I can say it on
Yes, you
air.
can. You can.
I took out a bag of drugs. A bag of cocaine, I guess, is what it was.
What? Now that's super cool. Tell me. Tell me the story, honey.
Somebody's ear?
Yeah, tell me the story.
How much?
Tell me. It was a
Obviously,
regular
I can't-
Tuesday. Start with it was a regular
was
Tuesday.
an
Ooh, average Thursday. Go, honey. I'm
an
here for it.
average?
I want to say it was about I don't know how many years ago it was, but I didn't have an irrigator back then, so I would do all my sermon management manually.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
we had a flush, but we had a different type of system, which is nothing compared to an irrigator, which is
Yeah.
like
The,
Woo!
we love
oh,
you,
I know,
irrigator.
we love
Yes.
you,
Re-
irrigator.
revolutionary,
No,
life
love,
changing.
Yes.
love. It's almost 100% effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never have okay, we're
We
gonna have
got-
to put some drops, we're gonna have to come back.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
always works. Anyways, take a look in the ear, saw something white, maybe it could be paper, maybe it could be cotton. That happens.
What was the patient in for?
The patient was in for audiometric hearing test and a hearing aid evaluation.
Okay.
So normal patient.
Okay.
Took a case history, some little warning flags about some things, and took a peek in, and I thought, what is that? Okay, maybe it's toilet paper. That has happened several times to me.
Toilet paper?
Yeah.
What?
I've had that one
I've
too.
had that. Toilet
Yeah.
paper, cotton.
Yeah.
That people kind of forget and then lodge real
Yes.
deep. So I went in there and I had some alligator forceps maybe, and I pulled it out and I thought, oh, it's cotton.
Yeah.
And then when I put it out into the paper, I thought, why is it? It's like a tied off corner of a bag, right? Like the corner of a bag, and there was some sort of substance in it,
Girl, no.
and I wasn't familiar with it, but I knew that it had to have been some sort of drugs, right? Hi, I'm a nerd. It had to have been some sort of drugs, and so, I placed it in a paper towel and tried to see if she would, number one, if she knew what it was,
Lord
or that she
help.
was aware, or if she was interested in taking it with her.
Yeah,
Because sometimes people will
yeah.
say, I want to take it home,
Yeah.
strangely. But after, I didn't really show it to her because I wasn't 100% sure, but I knew what it was.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so I put it away, and she didn't reach for it on the way out.
Yeah.
It's like she didn't even know it was in there.
Oh my
She probably
goodness.
did. She didn't want to
Right.
admit it.
You think?
If it's drugs.
So, this patient had been
high, you
sent by a government organization.
Oh.
So I had to contact the government organization
What?
and let them know what had happened, because I didn't want any liability on myself either, right? Because if I had taken out some illegal substance out of someone's ear, now it's in my possession.
Yes.
I'm a good citizen. So I
Karen
called,
the narc.
I called. They were like, "Well, we're gonna have to call the police." So the police came to my office, and I was like, "This is what I found." And he was like, "Yeah, that's I don't know what he called it, something of cocaine."
I don't know why you look at me. For
Yeah.
confirmation.
No,
I'm looking
I'm
at you the whole time I'm talking.
Well, yeah. But oh my
So
goodness.
it was a little torn off, cornered bag of cocaine that I removed.
And
They had to take it, and she
Kids.
never returned.
Kids, you too can have fabulous Thursdays. Like Dr.
So if you
Celina.
want to be an audiologist, you might take out drugs out of someone's ear.
There you go.
Bugs,
That's
toilet
bug
paper,
paper,
drugs,
bugs.
and random. Get ready for this. We're gonna have something to show you.
Yeah.
what?
It's the most random thing we've ever seen. like she started with the irrigator on this patient.
Okay.
I happened to not be with a patient, so I was doing some paperwork. So she was just doing her usual irrigator.
Yeah.
And all
So
of a sudden
satisfying.
she stopped.
Yes.
All of a sudden she stopped.
Yeah.
She runs in my and the video is funny because you could see her face going.
Well, given that,
Because when I make that face, I'm looking for Dr. Ellie.
right?
And-
well,
But
given that you can't,
Somebody else was filming.
No,
I
but yeah, she
filming.
wasn't there.
you
And
can't
I'm
make
like,
that
oh,
kind of
shoot.
reaction in front of a patient, right? If
Oh, no,
you're-
no.
Right, exactly.
No.
So you can be like, oh, what is that?
No,
Well, it was kind of okay.
Because when I took it out, I had to game face it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, you gotta
like,
game
oh,
face
and
it.
And I'm going as I turn. Like,
We may have been like, what?
this
So-
is very
So
unusual.
but then she runs behind the scenes like, I need you to come
Yeah.
in here. And I was like, what? She's like, I'm pretty sure there's a tooth in his ear or a bone. And I was like, a
Wait,
bone?
well, you just ruined it. You
Oh,
spoiled
shoot.
Bert.
Well, you haven't seen it yet. Get ready.
We want your take on
What?
it.
Yeah.
Like a baby?
It was like the first level. It was like the first level of wax,
Uh-huh.
and then I removed it. And there's this thing. She's gonna show you.
Okay. So this
Because
is
I'm
the
watching.
video,
Yeah.
okay.
Wait, let's see.
So this is
Because
the
I've never
video.
seen
The
it.
normal
I was there, but I
irrigation
want to watch.
day with the irrigator. La la
Who
la.
records for you?
Our producer /front office manager / woman.
Jennifer,
in the house,
shout out.
Jennifer Burrows.
Boo boo.
Wow.
Yeah. Good stuff, right? To be appearing over your head in just a moment.
Yep.
Okay, so la la la. Oh look, la 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 la.
Just an average
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Right,
It's an average
right.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay, right? Then, and this is his before, right? This is his before. Like just wax, impacted looking wax, right? Okay,
Yeah.
now once she stopped, all of a sudden, she goes then to,
Because I've never seen it. I want
okay,
to
so
see.
then she goes to take the picture. The
Okay.
picture. Sorry.
Okay.
Of the after.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, after the first level.
Every
Look at it. Yeah, look at it.
every
Look at it.
time.
Look at it. Look at it.
What the?
Yes.
No!
What the what,
I'm
right?
So.
What do you think?
I would have.
What do you, yeah.
What the
do you-
what?
What the what, right?
So if I didn't know my anatomy, I'd be like, "There's a bone that came up from the ear canal."
Yeah.
No,
And
but
obviously
but-
that's
but
not.
no,
That's
no,
not
no.
it, but
is.
of course it's still
But look at
something-
it. Look at it. Look at it.
That is very like it's
Right?
very apparent. Like it's not like it's like, oh, what is that? Like
yeah,
it,
it looks like a bone. It's
Look
shiny
at it,
enamelly.
yeah.
it looks like a dog's tooth.
tooth, right? That's what it looked
Like
like
a
to me, like a
canine.
canine, right? So she was obviously knows that a bone doesn't randomly grow in an ear canal,
Exactly.
but still, because we don't see that very often, she's like, I'm just afraid if I pull it, all of
However,
a sudden there could be
This
some
is the
geyser.
reason why you should see your audiologist for wax removal. Because what if you went to like a primary or like an emergency care and had that done? They're not gonna know what to do, guys.
Yeah, they're. Yeah.
Come to us.
That's
Anyways, go
right.
ahead.
We are
See
the
our local
pros. Just
audiologist.
See
letting
your
you
local
know.
audiologist with the pros.
Well, the gentleman showed up with, he said hearing loss, right? And when you clean the wax, and then
Well, he just knew he needed his ears cleaned out.
Yeah.
he could hear better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he did hear better, but
All right. So,
So
yeah, but
then-
this is
then this is Dr.
Did you see-
Wiggins taking it out.
You're like, sir,
Are you ready?
yeah.
All right. Here's the.
You know, I love my
That was
elevator
the
clips.
clips.
I love them.
I
I
love the
love
forceps.
them.
Because obviously the
I love them
irrigator
so
is
much.
going to flush all the wax
I
around
have
it.
a
but
really
then-
good headlamp that I like.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
show you.
have another one too.
You
I have
ready?
one too.
You ready?
Yeah.
5,
4, 3, 2.
It even looks
I
like a
wanted to
marrow
see the
in
marrow.
there.
Yeah, I
I was
wanted
going
to
to say
see.
that it looks like an actual bone
Yeah.
because it in the center. Is he a butcher? Did it fly into his
no.
ear? Is he
We
a-
We know now, based off previous podcasts, that it's probably a feather from a chicken.
No, it's not.
We're still not convinced that it is.
Guys,
So,
take a look at it.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, we
see
have
for
any
yourself.
hookups with forensics? You have any forensics?
I know,
friends?
just
Anyone
send
that
it
can
to
that
us.
Hey,
can
I don't
test
know,
it?
but
You
it's in
have
my
it?
office.
You don't have it?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
we
no,
have
they
it.
have.
Oh, heck yeah.
Dr.
Yeah.
Charles in my office has like a thing that he keeps everything that he's ever taken out of his
Really?
ears. Yeah.
I wish
Okay,
I
we
would have
should
done
do
it.
that. You know, I have all the jars in the world. Let's do it.
That's
So
right.
it's kind of like your jars that you have on your desk.
She has it
They're very
right now
classy,
in one of those,
though.
like when the
Sterile bags.
Yeah, sterile
I mean,
bags.
obviously, I guess that's because it is organic matter.
Yeah, we don't. Hey. But what is your take on it? What do you think?
I think it's definitely some sort of bone.
so we try to ask him, like, did you scratch your ear with?
Yeah. Did you put anything
What kind
in
of
your
line of work does
ears?
he do?
He works outside. He said.
There was a little bit of a language barrier, so we didn't fully
He's a
talk.
welder, huh? He said
No.
he's a welder.
Was he a
Language?
welder?
What did he
I
speak?
think maybe he was a welder. Yes, he was a welder. So that it didn't coincide. It didn't coincide.
But she kept asking him, and he was like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, he's like, no, I don't put things in my ears. Nope.
Yeah, so I don't
He
know.
said-
But she has a story that from our previous podcast,
Which one?
which of course you've
Trinidad.
already watched.
The Trinidadian.
She went to Trinidad
Oh,
to
yeah.
open up an
The,
audiology
the Caribbean
practice.
Q-tip.
And
Yeah, the Caribbean
a
Q-tip.
guy-
What's a Caribbean Q-tip?
A feather from a chicken,
I can
He
see
said-
how that'd be effective. Don't use
Well,
them, but I can see how that'd be effective.
but he wasn't using the feather part.
He was using the other
The-
side.
yes,
the,
the
like
stick-
where you pluck
Yeah,
it.
but his canal was just obliterated. It was blood, pus,
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff.
I've seen
infection.
it where someone used
Ah.
a needle and it'd be like boop, 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 like little picks all over. It looked like what's the guy in the horror movies with all the Pinhead? It looked like Pinhead inside his ear.
Ew.
Thankfully, it
me and my
wasn't-
trypophobia. Don't get me started
No,
on
it
that
looked,
book.
yes, you would not. have
Asperillas,
liked it.
Niger. I've seen that with
yeah,
the little
I've seen that.
spores.
Fuzzy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Some good stuff there.
Which leads us to the right way to clean your ears. Not a feather.
Leave him alone.
So
When you're
yeah,
at
she's
home.
always going to answer that question.
Yeah.
With, leave him
Him alone.
alone. But
gonna say that.
if you don't,
Great
and
minds.
something happens,
Come see us.
Yeah, EarWaxMD. Let me grab it. Do we have it up here?
Yep.
Okay, that's my
Have you
favorite.
used this
That's
yet?
my favorite.
This
You
is
haven't?
magical.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
You're gonna love it.
EARWAXMD, call me.
You're gonna be a believer. I'm not joking.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
So I actually found out
we
about
use
it.
a lot
on-
of over-the-counter stuff. Which I
Yeah,
won't
so there's a lot of
mention,
over the counter. Yeah, it's like a Debrox, things like
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
So you hear never really works. A lot of people complain that it doesn't work. Maybe it works on minor wax.
People with large ear
Or
canals.
in the office, irrigator, like you said, almost 100% effective. But for us, we've had a couple of instances that it wasn't.
but- Right.
And luckily, some audiologists were already talking about this on our forums that we have, the private forums. So because of that, I started looking into this. And then I just kept it on hand. And it's been amazing. I can actually show you some
Yes.
dissolving ones, too.
It's
Yeah.
great.
Let's see if I have that ready.
And you know,
I
I worked
didn't
with,
know
I worked
whether-
with ENTs for a long time, and they weren't using this. They've had some stuff, but
Because there's
So
just
yeah,
a lot
like
more
ENTs
aggressive.
will make
Yes,
you a lot
but
of times
that-
go sit in the office, wait in the lobby with
but
this,
that-
and this literally
Nice.
dissolves the wax.
that
Within
does
minutes.
what it
Yeah.
says it's
So
going
they
to
have
do.
a bunch of stuff. They have their company's called Eosera. They have this, which is what we primarily use. I'm interested in looking into their itch. They have ear itch MD for because we've been using like the hydrocortisone cream stuff. So I'm interested in that because sometimes
And mirror
patients
stuff.
get the itching in the ears and stuff. But the EARWAX MD has been amazing.
It has.
And you can get it from Amazon, CVS.
Put a
I
little
don't know.
box
We don't
here
have
for
Rite
me.
Aid here, and of course their website, Ear Care MD.
So how soon once you put it
Like
I mean,
minutes.
Oh,
Like
wow.
She was like,
So I don't have to schedule them again
I'm
for another
impressed.
appointment. I can just
Same
say,
day.
Oh,
Let's
let's do
yes.
this.
It
We're gonna
dissolves.
let you sit for a minute.
yeah. So it really works. Let me see if I can have that.
And while Ellie's looking the video up, do you guys use the irrigator?
Yes.
Y'all do.
I didn't
Tell us
know,
some
honey. Ooh,
irrigator
we gotta-
stories.
Yes, please.
I mean,
I'm here
the
for
satisfaction you get when it just
Yeah.
goes bloop.
it.
Comes
Yeah.
out is perfect.
How does it go?
And what existed prior to the irrigator for earwax removal in the audiology world?
Well, I had manual
I would
removal. I
manual-
was really good at manual removal.
me too,
Because
yeah.
I would do it
Not
a
me.
lot.
I
manual
loved
removal.
it.
So
And
like
what does that consist of?
with a
like
curette
NDR?
and a
Curettes.
magnifier of some sort, and that you're looking in
Headlamp.
and you're just manually.
It looks like a
removing
little
it.
Yeah.
spoon, and you're digging and digging.
Ellie, you're
And
looking.
sometimes
Or
it lets
You're looking
go.
up
the
videos.
alligator.
I'm not
you know,
into
Yeah.
once
that
you get to that
because
whole
if somebody's
piece.
on,
Or if you have big portions, you can just pull.
if
them
somebody's
out.
on blood thinners, like
You have to
one
be real
little
careful.
Yes.
nick, and it's like they're bleeding.
And
So it's honestly, I just
I used
didn't
to
want to
just
deal
go
with
for
it.
Yeah.
Not me. I'm like,
I would just
go get it
just-
cleaned somewhere else.
I would also use like a handheld irrigator that was somewhat effective, but nothing compared to what I'm using now. And it also probably didn't look as professional, even though it was for wax removal. It was just a handheld irrigator, like kind of what they use for mouth irrigation. But they had a ear component that they would sell, like on, I don't know, on some. It was an audiology website.
Go irrigator.
Go-Go irrigator.
Yeah.
It was great, and it lasted several years. But once I saw the
Irrigator.
Irrigator.
first of all, it's legit. Like
Yeah.
very
It
professional
is.
looking.
I like the bright light on it.
I think
It's
the
amazing.
patients want an experience, but now in the TikTok era, like
well, our
they want to
patients,
see it. and
literally,
they
I had
wanna-
somebody say they were going to
Ear
come
spa.
from Florida the other day.
I saw someone from New York
We've seen
flew
somebody
in.
from North Carolina. We've seen Chicago.
Yeah.
Of course, like Louisiana.
Over
Dallas.
20 million people have witnessed this young lady right here remove earwax. 20 million
20 million
people.
on just one video.
She turned me on to the irrigator because I was
20
just like,
million
Yeah, I
people.
remember, I remember the day I
no.
told her about it. I was like,
I
I'm
was,
going to start using this machine. And she's like this.
yeah. I did.
Look at this.
Wait,
You know, she gets
I
like
didn't hide it.
headlights. Sometimes she'll go, she's in like, you
First
know,
of all,
100%.
there's nothing she
Yeah.
cannot do.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I said. She's in. But
was
like, it was like, whatever it was,
But her face.
it was abrupt because like she was starting in this office and she hadn't worked with that machine yet. And I was like, hey, yeah, you got this? Because I got, next. Of course, she's done a bunch of other kind of wax removals.
Right.
Just not that particular machine. So it's just.
It's actually a lot easier than manual removal.
Yes. Hands down.
That's why I love it. Okay, you
I
ready
have
for
used
this?
suction too,
You ready
but
for
that's
this?
not my favorite.
No,
Suction is
we
not my
ha-
favorite
yeah.
'cause it's
Alright.
messy and then you have to clean
Yeah.
it out.
There you
later.
go. So this is the before. Again,
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to display it. And then this is after irrigation with the irrigator.
So
That-
still
yeah,
loaded.
it was tough. This was a tough one.
Yes.
There's just sometimes they're just won't.
Just
they're
tough.
Just don't want to come out. So then it was. I
Don't
would
use
say
Q-tips, folks.
Don't.
gallons of water. Then
Yeah.
she started doing it with the. You see the bottle, the EARWAXMD, and this is the first sign of it. You
Wow.
see it disintegrating, right? And then this is just sitting there a few more minutes, going even more.
Yeah.
And then
Look at
Wow.
that. Yeah, look at that.
It like
works.
liquefies it, so that you can just go.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it. Look.
Wow.
And then boom, eardrum.
That's
I didn't want to
Isn't that
believe
neat?
it, but man, that stuff is awesome.
Yeah, so we're believers.
I'm a
So it's so awesome
believer.
to have, like, that's why I always say, like, if you don't know, it's so good to have that feeling of, like, you can help somebody.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, when you,
Well, that relief that they get right away is like,
but just know the fact that they're there for that reason. Because in the past, there's been a couple of people who we couldn't fully help because it was just
Yeah.
so stubborn. So knowing that there's something to fall back on just in case is a really good feeling.
It is.
So,
before the irrigator, I had a popcorn kernel that I couldn't get. I still think about that popcorn kernel.
do you have a suction machine?
I don't have suction.
I have suction for that, for popcorn
Because
and
that's what I
marbles.
needed.
Yeah, so it's a giant
Ooh.
suction machine.
How much often do you use it though?
Not very
Not
often. We
often.
use it on surgical ears. So if we can't use the irrigator, let's say they've
Yeah, you
had,
can't put any water in there.
I don't know, cholestoma,
Mastectomy.
mastectomies, just a eardrum rupture, tympanic membrane issues.
Yeah.
We'll do it. Suction, I mean, it's not the greatest. We're not fans. But it is effective. And it has this extra little appendage you can stick on the end of it, and it pulls.
It'll go like,
Yep. And it
Yeah.
pulls like marbles and popcorn.
so we can do marbles and popcorn
Yeah.
kernels. Nice.
And it's not too pricey.
Right.
So I think you should get it.
Have it in my pocket just in case.
So today's wine I chose this one. It's called Decoy, or as Dr. Wiggins says, Decoy.
Decoy.
There's different levels to Decoy. There's
I've drank
this
many
is-
bottles.
Yeah, this is just normal Decoy, and then there's duck horn Decoy. So the duck horn is probably what $150 probably for a bottle, $60 to like $300 for a bottle.
Coming
This
next.
is a $20 bottle. Has a duck on it. This is a 2018 cab. And it is for $20.
We love our
See it?
cab.
Yeah. For $20,
It's a go-to.
It's a really
It's a
good-
go-to for,
Yeah, it's
for
definitely-
anybody
it's
that's
good.
that's
I
on a
like
date
it.
that wants to order something that's like, I don't know what to order, but I want to impress her or impress
Yeah,
him.
I like
Decoy.
it.
at the
Go.
restaurants, it's probably like $60 or something
like
for a
it.
bottle. So at like Specs, Total Wine, or wherever your local wine place is, this is around $20, and I think it's a really good bottle of wine. It's a good one. When I see anybody having Decoy, I'm good. It's
Support your
full-bodied-
local small liquor store though.
That too.
Yeah.
What,
Support local
what's up,
businesses.
Sonny's?
Local.
But
Sonny's Liquor.
If you guys were on a date and the guy ordered Decoy, would that be impressive?
Yeah, I'd be serious.
Yes.
Even if you just said, "Can I have some decoy?" I'd be like,
Decoy.
all right. I'll let
Parlez-vous
it pass.
franque?
Franque.
Well, on that note,
Fancy
fancy
seeing you here.
thanks for joining us
Thank
today.
you.
Thanks for having me.
You're awesome.